Have you ever heard a story that makes you feel sad yet hopeful? Today, we're sharing the incredible story of a 74-year-old mother named Martha. Martha has always loved her family, but her life took a difficult turn. This is a tale of love, family, and an unexpected visit that changed everything. So grab a snack, get cozy, and let's dive into Martha's story. Martha lived in a cozy house in a quiet neighborhood. The walls were filled with pictures of happy memories, birthdays, holidays, and family gatherings. But as time passed, the house became quieter. Martha had raised her son, Jake, with love and care. She spent countless hours helping him with his homework, attending his soccer games, and cheering him on in everything he did. However, as Jake grew older, something started to change. Martha would wake up early every morning while the world was still asleep. She would shuffle into the kitchen, her feet moving slowly on the cold floor. With sleepy eyes, she prepared breakfast, pancakes, bacon, and fresh fruit, hoping to make Jake's day a little brighter. As the aroma filled the house, she would call out, "Jake, breakfast is ready." Jake would wander into the kitchen, still half asleep, his eyes glued to his phone. He barely looked up to greet her. "Thanks, Mom," he would mumble, shoveling food into his mouth without a second thought. Martha tried to make conversation, asking about his plans for the day, but Jake was too focused on his phone. "I have a game later," he would reply distractedly. Every day felt the same for Martha. She felt invisible, as if her love and care went unnoticed. She missed the days when they would talk and laugh together, sharing stories about their lives. Now it seemed like Jake didn't care about her at all. As the weeks turned into months, Martha noticed a troubling shift in their relationship. Instead of caring for her mother, Jake began to treat her more like a maid. She found herself doing all the house chores, cleaning, cooking, and grocery shopping, while Jake sat on the couch, lost in his video games. Martha tried to speak up, but each time she did, Jake would brush her off. One evening, Martha sat down on the couch after a long day of cleaning. Her back ached, and her eyes felt heavy. She took a deep breath and tried to gather her thoughts. "Jake," she began softly, "could you please help me with the dishes tonight?" But Jake barely looked up from his game. "I'm busy, Mom," he replied dismissively. Martha felt her heart sink. She wanted to cry but held back the tears. One day, Martha received a call from her daughter, Emily. Emily lived in another city, far away, and they hadn't seen each other in years. "Hi, Mom," Emily said cheerfully. "I'm coming to visit this weekend." Martha's heart raced with joy. Finally, someone who cared. Maybe Emily could help her talk to Jake and bring back some family happiness. Martha spent the next few days preparing for Emily's visit. She cleaned the house, baked cookies, and filled the fridge with Emily's favorite snacks. The thought of seeing her daughter filled her with hope. She couldn't wait to share all the things that had been happening in their lives. When Emily finally arrived, she hugged Martha tightly. "It's so good to see you," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. Martha felt warmth in her heart, like sunshine breaking through the clouds. They spent hours talking, reminiscing about old times and laughing together. Emily helped Martha in the kitchen, and they baked pies, shared stories, and even danced to old songs on the radio. On the second day of Emily's visit, they decided to go for a walk in the nearby park. The sun was shining, and the flowers were blooming. Martha felt like a young woman again, full of energy and laughter. "Mom, you look so happy," Emily said, smiling. "It's just so nice to be together again," Martha replied, her heart full. While sitting on a bench, they watched children playing and families having picnics. Martha shared stories from her past about how she used to take Emily to the park when she was little. Emily listened, her eyes wide with interest, reminding Martha of the close bond they once had. But not everyone was happy about the reunion. Jake watched from the couch, his face twisted in annoyance. "What's so funny?" he snapped, his tone sharp. Martha's smile faded as she turned to look at him. "We were just remembering some old times, sweetheart," she said softly, hoping to lighten the mood. Emily sensed the tension and decided to speak up. "Jake, why are you treating Mom like this? She deserves better than to be ignored." Her voice was calm but firm as she confronted her brother about his behavior. Jake crossed his arms and scowled. "You don't know what it's like living here," he replied. "Mom does everything for me. I don't have time to deal with her feelings." Martha felt a mix of sadness and anger. She had always done her best for Jake, but now it seemed he didn't care. Gathering her courage, Martha spoke up. "Jake, I love you, but I feel like I'm being treated like a servant. I miss our time together. I want to feel like your mom again, not just someone who does chores." Tears welled up in her eyes as she spoke from the heart. Jake looked taken aback. He had never thought about how his actions affected his mother. He had been so wrapped up in his own world that he hadn't noticed how Martha felt. I didn't mean to make you feel that way," he stammered, his voice softer now. Emily reached over and put her hand on Jake's shoulder. "We all need to help each other, Jake. Mom has always been there for us. It's time we show her the love she deserves." Martha wiped her tears, feeling hopeful that maybe they could work things out. Jake took a deep breath. "Okay, Mom, I'm sorry. I promise I'll help more around the house, and we can spend time together again. I don't want you to feel like this anymore." Martha's heart swelled with joy. It was the moment she had been waiting for. In that moment, the tension melted away. Martha hugged Jake tightly, feeling love and relief wash over her. Emily joined in, wrapping her arms around both of them. It was a hug filled with warmth, forgiveness, and the promise of a better future. They stood together, a family once more, ready to face the challenges ahead. The next morning, things felt different. Jake woke up early and decided to help Martha in the kitchen. "What can I do?" he asked, his voice filled with sincerity. Martha smiled, surprised and happy. "Could you help me with the pancakes?" she replied. Jake nodded eagerly, ready to learn. They laughed as Jake tried to flip pancakes, making a bit of a mess. Flour flew everywhere, and both of them ended up giggling. It was a simple moment, but for Martha, it felt like magic. She realized that their bond was mending, piece by piece. Later that evening, Emily suggested a family game night. "Let's play some board games," she said excitedly. Martha's face lit up. She loved game nights. It was a time when they could all laugh and compete against each other in a friendly way. "That sounds perfect," she exclaimed. They gathered around the table, snacks laid out, and laughter filling the room. They played their favorite games: Monopoly, Scrabble, and even some card games. Martha couldn't remember the last time they had such fun together. The air was filled with joy, and for the first time in a long while, she felt truly happy. After the games, they sat down for a chat. "I've realized something," Jake said, looking thoughtful. "I've been so caught up in my own life that I forgot how much you both mean to me. I want to change that." Martha's heart swelled with pride at her son's words. "That's all I've ever wanted, Jake," she said softly. Emily chimed in. "Family is important. We need to support each other, no matter what. Mom has given us so much love. We need to show her the same in return." Martha smiled, feeling grateful for her daughter's presence and wisdom. As the days turned into weeks, Martha noticed a real change in Jake. He started helping her around the house without being asked. They would cook together, clean together, and even watch movies as a family. Jake began to share his day with Martha, including her in his life once again. Their bond grew stronger, and Martha felt like she had her son back. Months later, they celebrated Martha's birthday. Emily came back to surprise her with decorations, cake, and gifts. "Happy birthday, Mom," they shouted as they walked into the living room, filled with balloons and laughter. Martha's eyes sparkled with joy as she took in the scene. She felt so loved and appreciated. With a big smile, Martha blew out the candles on her cake, making a wish. She wished for their family to always be close and to never lose sight of what truly mattered: love and support for one another. That evening, they sat outside, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. "You know," Martha said, looking at her children, "I was so afraid of what would happen to me as I got older. I thought I would be alone, but now I feel surrounded by love." Emily and Jake exchanged glances, their hearts filled with warmth. "We'll always be here for you, Mom," Jake promised. "We're a team, and we can face anything together." From that day on, they made it a priority to spend time together, creating new memories and strengthening their family bond. They discovered that life is about the little moments: cooking dinner together, playing games, or simply sharing stories under the stars. As Martha flipped through an old photo album, she realized that love is what truly holds a family together. No matter how tough life gets, it's important to communicate and support each other. The love she had always given was finally coming back to her, and it filled her heart with joy. Thank you for joining us in this heartfelt story. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Remember, family is everything, and it's never too late to make things right. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for our next video.